Hello, and welcome to Smergal Reads. Today, we'll be reading Chapter 6, The Cowardly Lion. Yeah, it's been a while. Smergal been busy. Don't ask what. It has to do something with orcs and some stupid quest, and I had to help my brother Smergal find some stupid precious of his. We never did find it. It was just erased. So, back to this. All the time Dorothy and her companions had been walking through the thick woods, the road was still paved with yellow bricks. But these were much covered by dried branches and dead leaves from the trees. And the walking was not at all good, because leaves apparently make everything much harder to walk on. I'm pretty sure it means it's kind of fall, but that really wouldn't make it much worse, but whatever, these people are being picky. There were a few birds in this part of the forest, for the birds love the open country where there is plenty of sunshine, but now, then there came a deep growl from some wild animal hidden among the trees. These sounds made the little girl's heart beat fast, for she did not know what made them. But Toto knew and walked close to Dorothy's side and did not even bark in return. Well, I'm pretty sure you're safe. I mean, if there's some kind of wild animal, you do have a guy with an axe who's made of tin, and someone who can't feel pain. I'm pretty sure they can probably take it. If there's a whole bunch of them, you're kind of screwed. How long will it be, the child asked of the Tin Woodman before we are out of the forest. I cannot tell, was the answer, for I have never been to the Emerald City, but my father went there once when I was a boy, and he said it was a long journey through a dangerous country. Although near to the city where Oz dwells, the country is beautiful. But I am not afraid so long as I have my oil can, and nothing can hurt the scarecrow. While you bear upon your forehead the mark of the good witch's kiss, and I will protect you from harm. I don't think a kiss would do that, even if it's magical. I'm pretty sure that I would rather rely on the guy made of tin than the axe. Unless he decides to cut himself up again. He totally knows how to do that. But Toto, asked the girl anxiously, what will protect him? Obviously you. Just pick him up. It's not that big. We must protect him ourselves if he is in danger, replied the Tin Woodman. Also, make sure he doesn't run off either. Dogs tend to do that. Trust me, Smergal had a dog once. It lasted 2 days and the dog decided to run off. Stupid dog. Went back to the elves. Just as he spoke, there came from a forest a terrible war. I think terrified would have been better, but whatever. In the next moment, a great lion bounded into the road. With one blow of his paw, he sent the scarecrow spinning over and over to the edge of the road, and then he struck the Tin Woodman with sharp claws, but to the lion's surprise, he could make no impression on the tin. Although the woodman fell over on the road and lay still. You guys had one job to do. You didn't do it. You had to protect. God, you both are useless. Little Toto, now they had an enemy to face, ran barking toward the lion. Yeah, that's never a good sign when the pet decides to attack. Those things are never as good as the main party. And the great beast had opened its mouth to bite the dog when Dorothy, fearing Toto would be killed, and heedless of the danger, rushed forward and slapped the lion upon his nose as hard as she could, while she cried out, "Don't you dare bite Toto! You ought to be ashamed of yourself! A big beast like you to bite a poor little dog! Bad! Bad! Now sit there and think about what you've done!" I didn't bite him, said the lion, as he rubbed his nose with his paw where Dorothy hit it. No, but you tried to, she retorted. You're nothing but a big coward. I know it, said the lion, hanging his head in shame. I've always known it, but how can I help it? Wow, this lion's pathetic. You took out the 2 strongest people of the party, and you got defeated by a little girl. And her little dog, too. Yeah, I don't think this this guy's not that powerful. I don't know. I'm sure to think of you're striking the stuffed man like the poor Scarecrow. Is he stuffed? Asked the Lion in surprise as he watched her pick up the Scarecrow of Sam on his feet while she patted him into shape again. Of course he's stuffed, replied Dorothy, who's still angry. Ah, so that's why he went over so easily, remarked the Lion. Yeah. Well, you think it was a great strength? It kind of wasn't. Though it kind of funny that he was actually trying to kill the Scarecrow. That's actually pretty funny. Also, the Scarecrow's completely useless in combat, it seems. And so was the Tin Man. He didn't do anything. He didn't do anything either. Lion. It's just me to see him whirl around, sir. Was the other one stuffed too? No, he's made of tin, and she helped the Woodman up again. Oh, that's why he nearly blunted my claws, said the Lion. When I scratched against tin, it made a cold shiver round down my back. What is this lower animal you are so tender of? He is my dog Toto, answered Dorothy. Is he made of tin or stuffed? Neither. He's guess he hit a stroke there. He's a meat dog, said the girl. A dog made of meat. Okay, Smergal now hungry. Note to self, hunt later. Oh, he's a curious animal, and seems remarkably small. Now that I look at him, no one would think of buying such a little thing except a coward like me, continued the Lion sadly. Well, you're a predator. You're supposed to do that. Something smaller than you eat it. You're such a pathetic lion. This is why you're my least favorite character. Next to the good witch and the stupid house. What makes you a coward? Asked Dorothy, looking at the great beast in wonder, for he was as big as a small horse. It's a mystery, replied the Lion. I suppose I was born that way. All the other animals in the forest naturally expect me to be brave, for the lion is everywhere thought to be the king of the beasts. I learned that if I roared very loudly, everything was frightened and got out of my way. Whenever I met a man, I've been awfully scared, but I just worry him, and he's always run away as fast as he could. That's a good strategy, actually. If the elephants, the tigers, and the bears have ever tried to fight me, I should have run off myself. I am such a coward. But just as soon as they hear me roar, they all try to get away from me. And of course, I let them go. But isn't that right? The king of the beasts shouldn't be a coward, said the Scarecrow. I know it, returned the Lion, wiping a tear from his eye with the tip of his tail. It is my great sorrow. Oh, suck it up. Huh. Not a bad picture. Simplified. Definitely shows the wiping the tear with the eye with the tip of his tail. Okay, next page. I don't even know what's going on in that picture. I'll get that later. And that makes my life very unhappy. But whenever there is danger, my heart begins to beat fast. Perhaps you have a heart disease, said the Tin Man. Wow! If he had a heart disease, I think being a coward is the least of his concerns. But the fact that he defeated both of you in combat, he's probably better than both of you. It may be, said the Lion. If you have, continued the Tin Woodman, you ought to be glad, for it proves you have a heart. For my part, I have no heart, so I cannot have heart disease. God, let the heart thing go! You're made of tin. You're like almost invincible. Almost. Perhaps, said the Lion thoughtfully. If I had no heart, I should not be a coward. Have you brains? Asked the Scarecrow. I suppose so. I never looked to see, replied the Lion. I don't think you should look to see if brains. That's pretty dangerous. I am going to the Great OZ to ask him to give me some, remarked the Scarecrow, for my head is stuffed with straw, and I can still talk, and everyone calls me an idiot. And I am going to ask him to give me a heart, said the Woodman. And I am going to ask him to send Toto and me back to Kansas. Do you think OZ could give me courage? Asked the Cowardly Lion. Just as easily as he could give me brains, said the Scarecrow, or give me a heart, said the Tin Woodman, or send me back to Kansas, said Dorothy. Then if you don't mind, I'll go with you, said the Lion, for my life is simply unbearable without a little bit of courage, despite the fact that I just attacked you all. You would be very welcome, answered Dorothy, for you would help keep away the other wild beasts. It seems to me that they must be more cowardly than you are if they allow you to escape so easily. Yeah, maybe you shouldn't be so scared. Everyone else is scared of you. Also, is it right to have like a predator species like actually in the party? Because all you know is he could probably wait until you all fall asleep, then eat Dorothy and Toto. And maybe just roll the Tin Man down the hill. That actually would be pretty funny. They really are, said the Lion. But that doesn't make me any braver. As long as I know myself to be a coward, I shall be unhappy. So once more, the little company set off upon the journey, with the Lion walking with stately strides at Dorothy's side. Toto did not approve of this new comrade at first, for he could not forget how nearly he had been crushed between the Lion's great jaws. But after a time, he became more at ease, and presently, Toto and the Cowardly Lion has grown to be good friends, until the Lion waited for him to be asleep. During the rest of the day, there was no other adventure to mar the peace of the journey. Once indeed, the Tin Woodman stepped down upon the beetle that was crawling along the road and killed the poor little thing. This made the Tin Woodman very unhappy. Also, what is this? Is the Scarecrow just riding on his back? The other two seem to be just as confused, and Toad's like, oh boy, squirrel. Since he was always careful not to hurt any living creature, except he wasn't careful enough not to chop himself in half in his head, arms, and legs. And as he walked along, he wept several tears of sorrow and regret. Those tears ran slowly down his face and over the hinges of his jaw, and there they rested. How are you crying if you're made of tin? Is your internal organ still there? I have questions. This does not make sense. When Dorothy presently asked him a question, the Tin Woodman could not open his mouth, for his jaws were tightly rested together. He became greatly frightened and made motions to Dorothy to relieve him, but she could not understand because she was stupid, and the Lion was also puzzled what's wrong. But the Scarecrow seized the old can from Dorothy's basket or the Woodman's jaws, so after a few moments he could talk as well before. Hold on. You're calling the Scarecrow stupid, but no one can understand that his jaw was rusted, and that he was kind of pointing to the jaw. I can understand the Lion since he actually probably wasn't given this information, but Dorothy should have known. Scarecrow's actually pretty smart, okay? He is actually smarter than all of you. This will serve me a lesson, he said. To look where I step, for if I shall kill another bug or beetle, I shall surely cry again, and crying roasts my jaw that I cannot speak. Therefore, he walked very carefully with his eyes on the road, and when he saw a tiny ant twirling by, he would step over it as not to harm it. The Tin Woodman knew very well he had no heart, and therefore he took great care never to be cruel or unkind to anything. Okay. I think this thing means that even though they say they lack a heart or a brain, Scarecrow is kind of one of the smart guys in the group. And if the Tin Man did not have a heart, he would be crushing bugs! You have a heart! You have a brain! The only thing that's missing is Dorothy wanted to go to Kansas, but there's nothing in Kansas! This is a better place! Smergal would live there! God, this group is like a bunch of idiots running around. They're like a little bunch of habits. Stupid habits. You people with hearts, he said, have something to guide you. I never need to do wrong. But I have no heart, and so I must be very careful. When Ozzy gives me a heart, of course, I needn't mind so much. And that is the end of chapter... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's chapter 6. Next is chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The Journey to the Great OZ. Yep. Till next time, this is Smergal. If you like this, leave a comment and like and subscribe. If not, Smergal doesn't care. Leave Smergal around.